Sorry. Today we are going, inshallah, today about a very important punctuation mark, which is the comma. You know, the comma, sometimes, some students, they are confused when they use comma, or between the use of comma and the use of full stop. And punctuation marks in general, they are very, very important in writing. When we write, okay, we have to write full grammatical sentences, and we have to take care of cohesion and coherence and so on, and we have to take care of the use of the accurate or the correct or the appropriate linking words and so on. Last time, if you remember, we gave an example about the importance of punctuation marks in general, and we saw how punctuation marks are very important in writing, and they may play a very important role in changing the meaning sometimes. If you play or if you misuse them, you may change the meaning of the message. Now, the comma is very important, as I said last time. Now, the comma, the shape of the comma. In this section, inshallah, we are going to talk about the major uses of comma and how to use comma correctly and appropriately. Now, if you look at this example here, look, the journalist pleaded just one more question. So a comma is needed to set the direct quotation off from the rest of the sentence. So all of us sometimes, we use the direct quotation without using the comma. We have to use the comma here. Look, the journalist pleaded. And by the way, this is a common mistake. This is a common mistake, maybe by a large number of writers or of authors or of students in general. I know they forget to use the comma before the quotation marks, before the quotation. So a comma is needed to set the direct quotation off from the rest of the sentence. In order, like this is a comma, and this is the quotation. In order to separate the quotation from the other sentence. Now, with the comma included here, the direct quotation is properly set off from the rest of the sentence. So here as a reader, I can see that, oh yeah, this is a quotation, and it is separated, or the direct quotation is separated from the sentence. It is not, let's say, a part of the sentence, but it is a direct quotation. It is a direct quotation. These are not the author's words. This is a direct quotation. So in order to distinguish this, we have to use a comma before the quotation mark. Now, there are 6 main uses of the comma. In English, we have 6 main uses of the comma, and we have to keep them with practice, please. To separate items in a series, we are going to talk about this, inshallah. To set off introductory material, and on both sides of words that interrupt the flow of thought in a sentence. We will have examples now. Between 2 complete thoughts connected by but fanboys. Do you remember compound sentences? In compound sentences, when you write a compound sentence, and you use linking words like these, or connection or connectors, or linking words like these, you have to use a comma before them. To set off a direct quotation, we talked about this. And for certain everyday material, we are going, inshallah, to talk about these uses in details with examples. Now, comma between items in a series. I think the majority of us are aware of this usage. The street vendors sold watches, comma, necklaces, comma, blah, blah, comma, and earrings. You see, here we are mentioning, different items. So we have to use commas. In Arabic, we use wa. But, in Arabic nowadays, some authors prefer to use the comma. القلم الكتاب الدفتر ال وكذا. They'd like to use the comma also in Arabic. It's preferred to use comma in Arabic. However, some scholars in Arabic, they still say no, you have to say wa. الساعات والعقد والساعة والعقد والحلق إلى آخره. The pitcher adjusted his cap, comma, pawed the ground, comma, and peered over his shoulder. Look here. And the exercise instructor told us to inhale, exhale, and relax, comma, comma, comma. Again, Joe peered into the hot, comma, still smoking engine. Hot, still smoking engine. This is adjective, adjective. But this is also, these two adjectives are describing what? The engine. Hot, still smoking. We are going to talk about this, inshallah. So these are descriptive words, adjectives. Hot, comma, still smoking engine. We can say that. We can also say the hot and still smoking. We can say the hot and still walking, because these are two adjectives for the same noun, which is engine. Now the final comma in series is optional. The final comma here is optional, but it is often used. If you use a final comma in one series in an essay, use one in all other series in the same essay. Yani in one example, if you use a comma and you have other examples in the same essay or research paper or MA thesis or PhD thesis, inshallah, in the future, you have to follow the same pattern for all they say, right? In order to be consistent. Consistency is very important in writing and even in translation. In translation, when you use a certain concept, you have to use the same concept all over the document, right? And don't give synonyms, because synonyms may make confusion for your readers. Again, here you have to be consistent. Now, a comma is used between descriptive words in a series only if and inserted between the words sounds natural. You could say, Joe, like here, Joe peered into the hot and still smoking engine. This is an adjective, and this is an adjective, and both adjectives describe the noun, which is the engine. By notes in the following sentences, that the descriptive words here don't sound natural when and is inserted between them. Okay? In such cases, no comma is used. Now, if you think that the insertion of or the use of and between the two descriptive words doesn't sound natural, okay, there is here, in such cases, no comma is used. So yeah, Tony wore a pale green tuxedo. Pale green tuxedo. Adjective, adjective, noun. Adjective, adjective, noun. We do not use and here because it sounds, it doesn't sound natural here. Pale green, directly. Pale and green tuxedo doesn't sound right, so no comma is used. Pale green. Also, we don't use and we don't use comma here because it doesn't sound natural here to use and or to use comma. So yeah, sometimes we have a series of descriptive words or adjectives without using comma or without using and And in certain cases, and it depends on the meaning. If you think that, wallahi, it sounds natural, you can use comma or you can use and. If you think that, wallahi, it doesn't sound natural, there is no need for the comma and for the connector and. Now, activity number 1, place commas between items in a series. Look at these sentences here. Where should we use comma? Where should we use comma? Hmm. What do you think? Yeah. The American alligator lives in southern swamps, streams, lakes, and other bodies of water. Comma and other, right? Comma and other. And southern, yeah, excellent. Swamps, comma, streams, comma, lakes, and yeah. Rudy stretched out on the swaying hammock, popped open a frosty can of soda, and balanced it carefully on his stomach. Yeah, pumped open a frosty can of soda, comma, yeah, comma, and balanced it. Yeah. Yes. Rudy stretched out on the swaying hammock, comma, popped open a frosty can of soda, comma, and balanced. Yes. The children splashed through the warm, deep, swirling rainwater that flooded the street. Yeah. Warm, comma, deep, comma, swirling rainwater. Yeah. Yes. Comma, comma. Yeah. The police officers warm brown eyes, relaxed manner, and unpleasant smile made her easy to talk to. Mhm. Eyes, her brown eyes, relaxed manner. Yeah. The soft, warm woolen blankets comforted us as we heard the cold north wind blow through the pines. The soft, comma, warm, comma, woolen blankets, yeah, comforted us as we, yeah, that's right. Now, comma after introductory material. Now, we use a comma to set off introductory material, such as just in time. Look here. This is what we mean by introductory material, just in time. Sherry applied the brakes and avoided a car accident here. Look, just in time. Muttering under his breath. This is the introductory material that we are talking about. Hassan viewed the theme he had memorized. In a wolf pack, the dominant male holds his tail higher than the other pack members. In a wolf pack, although he had been first in the checkout line. Look. Okay. After the fire, we sludged through the ash, etc. Okay. Now this is an activity here. Place comma. Look here. if the introductory material is brief, the comma is sometimes omitted. In the activities here, you should include the commas. You should include the commas here. But if it is brief, the comma is sometimes omitted. Sometimes omitted, not all the time, sometimes. Now look at the activity here. Place commas after introductory material. Once you have completed the activity, review your answers with a partner. Look at this exercise here. Although it cannot kill certain bacteria, penicillin is still a useful antibiotic. After bacteria. Yes. Here. His heart pounding wildly. GC opened the letter that will tell him whether he, yes. Wildly, yes. Passing through 14 states. Yes, states. When the band hadn't taken the stage, 45 minutes after the concert was supposed to begin, the audience members started shouting and stamping their feet. Begin, yes. When the band had taken the stage, 45 minutes after the concert was supposed to begin, comma, the audience. Yes. Along the side of the brook, we noticed a newborn fawn. Yes. The brook. Yeah. A newborn fawn, speckled brown and red. Yeah, comma, the third use of comma around words that interrupt the flow of thought. Around words that interrupt the flow of thought. Sometimes we call them parenthetical sentences or extra information or parenthetical sentences, or sometimes it comes in terms of examples for the purpose of explicitation, explanation, for giving extra information about a certain concepts and so on, or it's a kind of paraphrasing or giving the synonyms of the previous concepts or the previous word. Use a comma on both sides of words or phrases that interrupt the flow of thought. Here, the vinyl car seat, comma, sticky from the heat, comma, clung to my skin. If you look at this information here, this is an extra information about what? About the vinyl car seat. So we place this information because it is an extra information. Commas. And we use commas in English to add extra information. Sometimes we call them parenthetical sentences. Yani add extra information about the head noun here. The head noun. This is number one. Number two, it could be a paraphrase. Number three, it could be a synonym of the previous words or so on. Or it could be a non-restrictive clause. And in relative clauses, it could be a non-restrictive clauses because we have restrictive and non-restrictive clauses. And if it is a non-restrictive clauses, it will be an extra information about the head noun. An extra information about the head noun. That means you can omit this information. If you remember last time, the example that we talked about quotation marks, a woman, comma, without hair, comma, without hair man, comma, is nothing. Now, if you remember last time, we said that this is an insult. Why? Because this information here between commas is an extra information about the head noun. So the sentence means a woman is nothing, right? So it is an insult. You see, So this is this is what we mean by extra information. Now, if we play with the information, يعني, and we say that a woman, colon, without hair, comma, man is nothing. Now the information here is what is very important in the sentence and cannot be deleted. Again here, mattress computer, which his wife got him as a birthday gift. If you look at this information here, it comes between, this is an unrestricted clause, an unrestricted clause, and it comes between two commas. That means, wallahi, this is an extra information about the head noun. This is an extra information about the head noun. We can omit it. If you omit this part, the meaning of the sentence will be the same. All right. So this is what we mean by extra information. If you omit this information, the meaning will never be or will not be changed or affected. In Arabic, what do we have? The equivalent in Arabic, we have الجملة المعترضة. الجملة المعترضة. مثلا عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه. رضي الله عنه هنا, if you omit it, the meaning will never be affected, right? The hallway, dingy and dark, look, extra information, was eliminated by a power bulb, etc. Look, this is an extra information, and we call it an interrupt. This information interrupt the flow of thought. The flow of thought. Now, usually by reading a sentence aloud, you can hear the words that interrupt the flow of thought. And by reading it aloud, you will discover that. You will discover that, and wallahi, this sentence or this information interrupt the flow of thought. So it must be between commas. And if in cases where you are not sure if certain words are interrupters, remove them from the sentence. If you think that the last resort or the last solution, read aloud your sentence. If you think that wallahi, these words they may interrupt the train of thought or the flow of thought, that means wallahi, this is a parenthetical sentence or an extra information about the head noun, so I have to place them between commas. If you are unsure about that, what is the solution? Omit them, no need for them. Because why? Because they are extra information. Because they are extra information about the head noun. If it still makes sense without the words, you know that the words are interrupters and that the information they give is non-essential. Such non-essential or extra information, as I said, is set off with commas. Sue Dodd, who goes to aerobics class with me, طيب, this is an extra information, right? Imagine, for example, wallahi, you were unsure about this information. Now, go to the second choice. Wallahi, is this an important or essential information? No. No, so I can omit it. Sue Dodd was in a serious car accident. So this is the most important information here. Here, who goes to blah blah blah. This is an extra information. This is an extra information about the head noun, but it is not a part of the essential information in the sentence. So the existence of the existence or non-existence of this phrase or this clause will never affect the meaning of the sentence. Now the woman who goes to here, imagine, but if you would like to make this part as an essential, we talked about restrictive and non-restrictive clauses. Restrictive clauses, we have commas, right? Non-restrictive clauses, we omit commas. When do we use restrictive clauses? If you think that, wallahi, this information is not an extra information, it is an essential information in the sentence. If you think that, wallahi, this information or this clause could be an extra information about the head noun, you can use the commas. Okay. Now here the word who goes to aerobics class with me supply essential information. If the words were removed from the sentence, we would no longer know exactly who was in the accident. Look here, the woman who was goes. The woman. Okay, so the woman, we use the definite article here. Definite article here, the woman. So we add this information as essential information in order to make sure that the listener is understanding who is the woman that you are referring to. Yeah. Now, if the words were removed from the sentence, we would no longer, again, exactly know who was in the accident. Look here, Watership Down, a novel by Richard Adams, is the most thrilling adventure story I have ever read. A novel by. Again, this is an extra information about the novel. Now here, if you look at the other example here, we can see that in Wallahi, a novel by Richard Adams, it is an essential information. Richard Adams' novel, Watership Down, you see, this information is essential, is the most thrilling adventure, etc. The title of the novel here is essential. Now, most of the time you will be able to hear which words interrupt the flow of thought in a sentence and will not have to think about whether the words are essential or non-essential. Now use commas to set off interrupting words here. Look at this exercise here. A slight breeze, hot and damp, ruffled the bedroom curtains. Where shall we place the commas? Think. Where should we use the commas here? Are you following me? Are you following me? Yeah. Where shall we use the commas? Yeah. Hot and damp. Yeah, hot and damp. Excellent. Next. Two large pines swaying in the wind signaled that cooler weather was coming. Two large pines, comma, swaying in the wind signaled, yeah, excellent. Two large pines, comma, swaying, yeah, excellent. Hawaii, which became the 50th state in 1959, is made up of 8 major islands, which became the 50th state in 1959, comma, is, yeah. Mr. Delegado, who is avid Yankees fan, remembers the grand, yeah, اللي هي before who is an avid Yankees fan members. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. So Diego, who is, yeah, members the Grandes, yes, who is an avid Yankees fan, comma, remembers the Grandes of Mikey Mantle, etc. The fleet of tall ships, a majestic sight, made its way into the harbor. A majestic sight. Uh, a majestic sight, yeah. Now, the four uses of commas, a comma between complete thoughts. And, you know, we have studied 3 uses so far. They are very easy. Now, here, this is the most problematic use among these uses. Why? Because here you have to make sure, wallah, I have a complete thought, so I have to use a comma. Use a comma between two complete thoughts connected by and, but, for, or, nor, so, yet. Okay? Sam closed all the windows, comma, but. You know, some writers, they forget to use the comma before these words. I like wearing comfortable clothing, comma, so I buy. So I buy oversized shirts and sweaters. Peggy doesn't envy the skinny models in magazines, comma, for she's happy with her own well-rounded body. Now the comma is optional when the complete thoughts are short. When the complete thoughts are short, it is optional. The Ferris wheel started and Wilson closed his eyes. Look, this is a very short thought here. So we don't use the commas. Many people left, but the band played on. Again, it is optional. If you use it, it's correct. And my advice to you is to use the comma. Even if you have short, if you have complete short thoughts, my advice to you is to use the comma. I made the wrong turn, comma, so I doubled back. Now, be careful not to use a comma to separate two verbs that belong to one subject. And be careful to separate. To use a comma to separate two verbs that belong to one subject. The comma is used only in sentences made up of two complete thoughts. Two subjects, two verbs in a sentence. Look at this example here. The doctor, this is the subject, stared over his bifocals and lectured me. This is one verb. This is one verb and look. And they belong to what? To the same subject. What is the main subject in this sentence here? The doctor. And the two verbs stared over, lectured me, right? These are two verbs, double verbs, that are linked with the same subject. So here we do not use a comma. Why? Because here we use ellipsis. Have you heard of this in semantics? In semantics, you have, if you study semantics, there will be a subject called cohesion and cohesive devices. Cohesive devices, one of the cohesive devices is ellipsis. Ellipsis means what? We omit. If we have the same subject, if we are talking about the same subject, there is no need to repeat it again in the second sentence here. The doctor stayed over his bifocals and the doctor lectured me. So if I'd like to rewrite the sentence with two subjects here, but the second subject is the same as the first one. So this is why we apply here, we apply a rule which is ellipsis in English, ellipsis. So there is no need for the comma here before the end, no need for the comma. Dean switched the lamp on and off and then taped it with his fingers. Again, switched, taped. These are two verbs, and the subject is the dean here, right? Okay, so there is no need for the comma. Again, we use the ellipsis here, the cohesive device, which is ellipsis. Now, this is an activity here. Place a comma before a joining word that connects two complete thoughts, two subjects, and two verbs. Remember, don't place a comma within a sentence that has only one subject and a double verb. Some items may be correct as given. Look here. The television sitcom was interrupted for a special news bulletin, and I poked mine. What do you think? Do we need a comma here? Here we have two subjects, right? The television sitcom and I. Two subjects, right? So we need a comma here. Yes, we need a comma here. Before he led Confederate troops in the Civil War, General Robert E. Lee had fought in the Mexican War and had been superintendent at West Point. Shall we use a comma here? No, yes. There is no need to use a comma. Why? Because we have the same subject here. We are talking about the same subject here, General Robert Lee. The eccentric woman brought all her own clips and rulers to the beauty parlor, for she was afraid to use the ones there. All hair on clips and rulers to the beauty parlor, for she was afraid. Here the use of comma is optional. Yeah. Before here we have to use a comma here. It is not optional here. It's obligatory because these are two complete thoughts. Orangutans are ideally suited for living in trees, and they rarely climb down to the ground. We need a comma. What do you think? No, we need a comma. We need a comma. These are two complete thoughts. This is the noun here, and this is the pronoun here. They use the pronoun here. So these are two complete thoughts, so we have to use a comma. If they don't use the subject here, Asil, if they don't use the subject here directly, they use the verb. At this time here, we don't need the comma, but we have a subject here. That means, no, wallahi, this is a new thought. So we have to use a comma. Plastic surgery was developed to repair damaged tissue, but today It is often used to improve one's appearance. Yeah, before but. Ruth was tired of summer routines, so she visited the town library to pick up some interesting books. We need a comma before so. We need a comma before so, right? Now, look at the next example here. You can spend hours driving all over town to look for a particular type of camera. Or you can telephone a few stores to find it quickly. Yeah, comma or. Yes. Many people strolled among the exhibits at the comic book collectors convention and stopped to look at a rare first edition of Superman. I think there is no need, here. No need for the comma. No need for the comma, because we have the same subject here for the two verbs. Strolled, stopped. Strolled among, stopped to. Okay? The subject here has been ellipted. Okay? So there is no need to the comma. No need to the comma. Our neighborhood crime patrol escorts elderly people to the local bank and installs free deadbolt locks on their apartment doors. Yeah, no need. Excellent. Yeah. Because this is a verb and this is a verb, and there is no subject here. It has been ellipted. Brendan tapped the small geraniums out of the pots and carefully planted them, etc. Yeah. Yes. No need. No need, because here we are talking about the same. We have two verbs related to the same subject. Two verbs related to the same subjects. Now, number 5, comma with direct quotations. Use a comma to set off a direct quotation from the rest of a sentence. We talked about this in the first example that we presented at the beginning of the lecture. Here the carnival Parker cried, comma, step right up and win a prize. Inshallah, you are going to write short stories. I think you have some courses about writing short stories or literature in general. And, in novels or short stories or even in plays, we have so many quotations, right? So many quotations. You have to be careful to use commas. Or in essays, when you have a quotation, you have to use a comma in order to set off a direct quotation. And wallahi, this is a direct quotation. Look here. Now is the time to yield to temptation, comma. My horoscope read. I'm sorry, comma, said the restaurant hostess. This is a complete thought here, full stop. You will have to wait. But look here, said. For my first writing assignment, comma, said Scott, comma, another comma. I have to turn in a 500-word description of a stone. If you look at the previous example here, you can use a comma here or a full stop. It's optional, either to use a full stop or to use a comma. The commas and periods at the end of a quotation go inside quotation marks. Yeah, this is very important. Look here. Look at the punctuation marks here. It comes inside the quotation mark. Look here, exclamation mark. It comes inside the quotation. Look at the comma. It comes inside here. Look here. You know, the majority of writers, they have the full stop or punctuation mark in general. They have it outside the quotation. This is wrong. This is wrong. Here we are talking about American English. American English, okay? American English, you have to use it inside the quotation. Use commas to set off direct quotations from the rest of the sentence. The coach announced the comma must be where shall we put the comma? Yeah, after announced. A grapefruit, said the comedian, is a lemon that had a chance and took advantage of it. Yeah, the comma must be after fruit directly inside the quotation and before the comedian. Said the comedian, comma. The child heard her mother whisper, lady bird, flew away home. Yeah, whisper. My heart is bursting, said Stella. Yeah, bursting. The zookeeper explained to the visitors, we can't tell the sex of a giant, etc. Visitors here. Now, other uses for commas. Use a comma when addressing someone directly. If you are the last to leave, comma, pool, comma, please switch off the lights. Look here. We use a comma because you are addressing someone directly. Fred, comma, I think we are on the wrong road. Did you see the playoff game? Comma, Lisa. So the first one, when you use a comma when addressing someone directly. Also, persons to spoken to. Use a comma after a salutation of a friendly letter and after the salutation and closing and friendly and other formal letters. Dear Ali, comma, dear Roberto, sincerely yours, yours truly, etc. The openings and closings of letters. Now use commas in numbers of 4 digits or more. But look here, in formal letters, a colon is used after the opening. Informal letters. In formal letters, we use colon in the opening. Dear Sir, or dear Madam, or dear Alan, or dear Miss Moore. See, we have colon here, not a comma. This is in informal formal letters. We use colon rather than a comma. But in informal letters, we use comma. Dear Jack, dear Ali, dear Muhammad, etc. Use commas in numbers of 4 digits or more, except for years and street numbers. commas in numbers of 4 digits or more, except for years and street numbers. Look, in 2008, you can't use a comma here. You can't. It's impossible, right? In 2008, comma, the insurance agent told me a $50,000 term life insurance policy. Look here. So this number consists of more than 4 digits. More than 4 digits. No comma is used before a zip code. Right? You know the zip code for the postal address. Yani. Place commas where needed. The city of Dublin, Maggie, is the capital of the Republic of Ireland. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. The city of Dublin, comma, Maggie, comma, is the capital of the Republic of Ireland. On July 15, 2009, Philip Pacello opened a legal office at 2600 Woodbridge Avenue, Fort Myers, Florida. No, no, wait, yeah, Noor. If you remember, yeah, Noor, here we said that no comma is used before a zip code. Yeah. So 2000, this is a 4 digit. Okay. On July 15th, comma, opened a legal office. Do we need a comma here? Do we need a comma here? Opened a legal office, Woodbridge Avenue, Fort Myers, Florida. Yes, no need for comma here. There is no need for comma here. Yeah. Because why? And no comma is needed before a zip code. And I can't use a comma here. Or I can't use a comma here, after or before. An estimated, look here you need a comma. 875,000 African American men participated in million. Yeah, we need a comma here. Yes. Yeah, we need a comma here. Participated in the Million Man March on Washington, October, etc. The Millet chart shows, Eileen, that we'll have to drive 1,231 miles to get to, etc. The Millet chart shows Eileen. Here we need a comma before Eileen and after Eileen. Yes. Yeah. The Millet chart shows, comma, Eileen, comma, that we have to drive, etc. The coupon refund address is 2120. Yeah, for the mile also, yes, we have to use here 1,230 mile. Or it's optional here, by the way, Yani. It's optional. And we can use it or we can't. Yeah. Yeah, we can say in 1,200, but Yani, I prefer not to use. The commas must be here, Eileen. The coupon refund address is 2120 Industrial Highway, Great Plains, Minnesota 55455. Industrial Highway, comma, right? The refund address is Industrial Highway, comma, Great Plains, comma, Minnesota. No, we need the Celia. This is an address. This is an address. No need for the comma and the numbers here. 55455. If we have zeros, we have to use commas here, right? But still, if we don't have zeros, there is no need for the comma. But you see, this is an address in Wallahi 2120 Industrial Highway, comma, Great Plains, comma, Minnesota. Right? This is the address. Insert commas where needed in the space provided below each sentence. Summarize briefly the rule that explains the comma or commas used. Clinics, tissues, said the history professor, were first used as gas mask filters in World War I. Comma, clinics, tissues, comma, said the history professor, comma, where blah, blah, blah. Said and professor, after said and after, before said and after professor. The large juicy pallet pear that I bit into was sweet, cold, and refreshing. That I bit, yeah. That was sweet, comma, cold, yes. Sweet, comma, cold, and refreshing. While waiting to enter the movie theater, we studied the faces of people just leaving to see if they had liked the show. Yes. I had left my wallet on the store counter, but the clerk called me at home to say that it was safe. But, yes. The demonstrators protesting nuclear arms carried signs reading, humans have never invented a weapon that they haven't used yet. Yeah. Large cactus plants, which now sell for very high prices, are being stolen from national parks and protected desert areas. Which prices? At the age of 21, Tiger Woods won the 1997 Masters tournament with the highest margin of victory in the golfing tournament's history. At the age of 21, yeah, excellent. Good. Tucson, a large city in Arizona, is quite near the border with Mexico. A large city, right? Arizona. A large Arizona. This must be between commas. The North African nation of Algeria is bordered by 5 countries: Tunisia, Libya, Niger, Mali, Mauritania. Tunisia, comma, Libya, comma, Niger, comma, Mali, comma, etc. Cats and dogs, like most animals, love the taste of salt and will lick humans' hands to get it. Cats and dogs, like most animals, love the taste of salt and will lick humans' hands to get it. Here, in the comma before like and a comma after animals, like most animals. This must be between commas. Now we have review test here. I wish you can do that alone, okay? So please go to these tests and try to do them again, and we can negotiate this next time. All right?